Hello everyone, myself Shikha brought to you a new chapter from our literature reader New Broadway. Chapter that we are covering in this video is The Little Prince. Here the chapter starts. The Little Prince is a profound and deeply moving tale about a little prince who lives on a tiny planet, which is actually an asteroid. He loves to watch the sunset, and at home he can watch the sunset over and over again by just turning his chair. A flower grows on his planet with which he can communicate. During his journey amongst the planets and asteroids, the prince comes across a pilot repairing the engine of his small plane. He requests the pilot to draw him a sheep but is not happy with the drawings, as the sheep looks either old or unnatural or weak. Finally, he is given a make-believe sheep in a box which makes him happy. He now wishes to know if the sheep will be able to eat up the saplings of baobab trees which threaten to choke his tiny planet. He is also worried that the sheep will eat up the flower on his planet. He moves from there and comes to an asteroid over which an unusual king's rule. Profound means very great, and this great can be a state, quality, or emotion. Asteroid is a small rocky body in galaxy. Sapling is called a very small plant, and threaten means danger. So this story is about a little prince who lives on a small planet, and he was able to watch sunset anytime just by turning his chair. There was a flower on his planet to whom he talks, and he was traveling through different planets as he got to make believe sheep in a box by pilot, and now he wishes that will the sheep be able to eat up the small plants of baobab trees, which are a type of danger for his planet. So now he moves to an other planet where lives a king. Here are some new words from the text that will help you while explaining the chapter. He found himself in the neighborhood of the asteroids 325, 326, 327, 328, 329 and 330. So he started by visiting them to look for an occupation and to add to his knowledge. Neighborhood means a place near you, or in Hindi we can call it pados. Occupation is called a job, and look for means to search something. So it is a phrase, means a group of the two words, means look for. It's a phrase, two words are combined here, so we will not call it a word, we will call it a phrase. It means in search of. So the chapter starts when the little prince moved from his planet and traveled through different asteroids named 325 to 330. As we are having our house numbers now as our address, same as there were the addresses of different asteroids. Fine. And the little prince was visiting through these asteroids. And why was he visiting these asteroids? To search any job and to gain more knowledge. So in search of a particular or a suitable job for himself, he was visiting to different planets. The first one was inhabited by a king. Clad in purple and ermine, he was seated on a throne, both simple and majestic. Inhabited means lived. Clad is called clothed, or to wear the cloth. Okay. And ermines means a winter coat. White, made up of the stout's fur. Stout is a type of wild animal having white fur on its body, and this cloth means this coat that was worn by the king, that was made up of the fur of a stout's body. Fine. So the first asteroid on which the little prince reached, there lived a king, and he was wearing the robe, or the coat of a purple and white color. He was sitting on a throne, and that was simple but at the same time very majestic. And so the first asteroid that the little prince visited belonged to a king. Ah, here comes the subject, exclaimed the king when he spied the little prince. Subject here means a person belongs to a king's country. Spied is called got information secretly, and exclaimed here is means spoke with joy. So when the king secretly found that the little prince has come at his asteroid, he said with joy that here comes a person from his kingdom. And the little prince wondered to himself, how can he recognize me since he has never seen me before? When the little prince saw the king being so happy on his arrival, he wondered and told himself how the king recognized him as he had never seen him before. So when the prince came at an asteroid, there lived a king who showed his joy on looking at him. Means the king was looking very happy on the arrival of the little prince on his planet. He did not know that for kings the word is greatly simplified. To them all persons are subjects. Come a little closer so that I may see you better, said the king inordinately, proud of having someone to be king over at last. Inordinately means so far more than expected. So when the king addressed the little prince as subject, then the prince did not know that for a king only he himself is a great person and rest of the other people of this world are very simple human being, and the king treats them like subjects. So then the king said to him to come closer so that he could see him better, as he felt proud more than expected of having a person on whom he could rule over like a king at last. The little prince looked around to find a place to sit down, but the entire planet was covered by the magnificent ermine robe. So he remained standing, and since he was tired, he yawned. Magnificent means grand or shandar. Yawned is called opening the mouth on feeling tired, or in Hindi we call jamhai lena. The little prince was looking all around the asteroids to find a place where he could sit down, but the entire planet was already covered by the grand white robe of the king. So he found no place to sit. So he kept standing at a distance, and he was very tired, so he was yawning. See, robe is a kind of very big cloth worn by king when they walked, and their big robe follow them and crawl on the floor. Okay, so that is called a robe. So this king was wearing really big robe. The robe was too big to cover the entire planet on which he was living. It's contrary to etiquette to yawn in the presence of a king, said the monarch. I forbid it. Etiquette means the manners to behave in the society, and contrary is called opposite. Monarch is a king who rules over the kingdom, and forbid means to deny ya mana kar dena. Okay. So when the little prince yawned before the king said that yawning in the presence of a king is opposite to the society manner, and he denied it to do so. Means he did not like that before him the little prince was yawning. So this is stanza informing us that the little prince who was traveling to different asteroids, at first he came to the asteroid that belongs to a king, and he found no place to sit anywhere on that asteroid. The whole planet was covered by the big robe worn by the king, and the king who did not like yawning of the little prince, and that was a natural process, but in the presence of the king, yawning was disregarded with the manners of the society. I cannot help it, replied the little prince in confusion. I have come on a long journey and I haven't slept at all. In which case, said the king, I order you to yawn. I have not seen anybody yawning for years. Yawns are a curiosity to me. Come now, yawn again, it is an order. Curiosity means a strong desire to learn something. So when the king did not like the yawning of little prince, then the little prince said that he could not help it. And he was rather confused that why the king was objecting his yawning, as it is a natural process, happens with all the persons. So he said that he had come on a long journey, and he had not slept even for a little time, and he was too tired. Listening to it, the king ordered the little prince to yawn, as he had not seen anyone yawning. So with this tiredness for so many years, and yawning is a kind of curiosity for him. So again the king ordered the little prince to yawn again. You are frightening me. I cannot yawn anymore, said the prince, blushing. Hum, hum, replied the king, then I order you to sometimes to yawn and sometimes to. He spluttered a bit and seemed waxed. Blushing means feeling shy or sharmana, and spluttered is called repeated the letters ya haklana, and waxed is called confused or unhappy. So the king kept on giving him orders. Then the prince felt very shy and said that he was making him afraid and he could not yawn again and again by its own desire. It's a natural process. It comes itself. Then the king said that he was giving him order to yawn sometimes and sometimes. So leaving his talk unfinished, the king stopped as he was repeating the letters and seemed confused. So here we come to know that the little prince was very tired of his journey and he was yawning, but the king did not know about yawning, and he wanted the little prince to yawn again for him because it was a new thing for king. He has never seen anyone yawning before him. For the king attached considerable importance to his authority being respected. He tolerated no disobedience. He was an absolute monarch, but as he was very kind, he gave reasonable orders. Considerable means notable. Authority is called the power to give orders, and tolerated means to borne or sehen kiya. Disobedience is called unfollowing the orders, and absolute monarch means the ruler with unlimited power. Reasonable is called fair. So the king was having notable importance to his power of giving orders that were respected, means the king was having the power of giving orders, but he kept this thing in his mind that whatever the orders he placed, they would be respected by all. As a king, he would not if anyone would not obey his orders. So we can say that the king was a ruler with unlimited power, but he was a king having the kind heart, so he gave fair orders to all. If I ordered a general, he would say, if I ordered a general to change himself into a seabird, and if the general did not obey, it wouldn't be the general's fault. It would be my fault for ordering him to do the impossible. Now the king was explaining or making himself clear that how he orders and the orders were reasonable. He said if he ordered a general or a minister, okay, and that is called mantri, okay, so if he ordered a general to change himself into a seabird, in a sea creature, and then if the general did not obey king's order, then it would not be the fault of the general or minister. It would be surely king's fault, as he ordered him uh, to do something impossible. Means no person can change himself into a seabird or in any other thing. And if a king is giving this order like this, so no one can follow. So it is impossible to do or to change himself into an other creature for anyone. So we can say these type of orders are unreasonable. They are of having no use. May I sit down? Asked the little prince shyly. I order you to sit down, replied the king, majestically gathering a fold of his ermine robe around him. Majestically means in an impressive manner. The little prince asked the king with shyness if he might sit down somewhere, as he was very tired. And in an impressive manner, the king answered that he ordered him to sit down. Then he gathered his robe around him to leave some space for the little prince, because there was no space on his asteroid. That's why. So this stanza let us know that the king thought that he had unlimited power, and whatever the order he would give, they would be fair for all. His robe covered the whole planet, and tired prince did not find any place to sit. Then the king shifted his robe aside and made the place for the prince to sit down. But the little prince was puzzled. The planet was tiny. Over what could the king really rule? Sire, he began, please excuse my asking you a question. Puzzled means confused, and tiny is called small. The king made a space for the prince, but still the prince was confused, and he was thinking, as the planet was very small, over which the king placed order and ruled over. The prince addressed the king as sir. Sire is called sir, and requested him to let him ask a question. I order you to put your question to me. The king was quick to reply. Sire, over what do you rule? Over everything, replied the king very simply. Over everything? Then the king said, I am ordering you to ask me question. The prince asked, who are there on your planet to rule over? Then the king replied, I ruled over everything. Then the prince answered with surprise, over everything? As he could not see on the planet anyone, there was no one on his planet. May I sit down? Asked the little prince shyly. I order you to sit down, replied the king, majestically gathering a fold of his ermine robe around him. Majestically means in an impressive manner. The little prince asked the king with shyness if he might sit down somewhere as he was very tired. And in an impressive manner, the king answered that he ordered him to sit down. Then he gathered his robe around him to leave some space for the little prince because there was no space on his asteroid. That's why. So this stanza let us know that the king thought that he had unlimited power, and whatever the order he would give, they would be fair for all. His robe covered the whole planet, and tired prince did not find any place to sit. Then the king shifted his robe aside and made the place for the prince to sit down. The king made a sweeping gesture, taking in his own planet, the other planets, and the stars. Over all that, said the little prince. Over all that, replied the king, for he was not only an absolute monarch, but a universal one. Sweeping gestures means forming a curved shape with hand, ya haath kumana. Universal is called related with all the people and things in the world. So when the little prince asked, what is everything on which the king ruled on his planet? Then the king moved his hand all around through his own planet and the other planets and all the stars. Means by his hand movement, he was showing that he ruled over all the planets and his stars. Again, the prince asked with surprise, over all that things? And the king replied, yes, over all that, as he was not only the king having unlimited power, but also possesses the universal ruling power. Then the prince asked if the stars obey him. So according to the king, he was not only the king of his own planet, but of all the planets and stars, means he was ruling over the whole universe. And the stars obey. Of course, said the king, they obey immediately. I do not tolerate insubordination. Insubordination means refusal of any order. So the prince asked with surprise, whatever the king ordered, and the stars obeyed, really obeyed. Then the king said, of course, whatever order he gave, they followed at the same time, as he did not tolerate or bear the refusal of any of his order. The little prince marveled at such power. Had he possessed it, he could have watched not 44 but 72 or even 100 or 200 sunsets in one day without even having to move his chair. Marveled means surprised. So after listening to it, the little prince surprised at such wonderful power of king, and he was thinking, had the king really possessed such power that he could have watched not only 44, 72, 100 or 200 sunsets in one day. And for watching these sunsets, he needed not to even move his chair a little. Then here Prince wanted to say that if the king is a universal king, then all the planets, stars, suns, moons and all other celestial bodies obeyed him. And he felt rather sad, remembering his small, abundant planet. He plucked up the courage to ask the king a favor. I should like to see a sunset. Please do me that kindness, order the sun to set. Abundant means left, and plucked up is called to force to do something. Now the little prince was feeling a little sad as he was remembering his own small planet that he had left. Then the prince gathered force to ask the king a favor for himself. He asked that he wanted to see a sunset, and he requested the king to do this kindness for him and to give order to the sun to set. So actually, when the king said that all the planets, stars, and other bodies of the galaxy work as per his orders, then the king requested him to show one sunset, as he liked to watch the sunset very much. Because if the king will order the sun to means to be set, then it would have to set as per the order of the king, because he was a universal king. If I were to give order a general to fly from one flower to another like a butterfly, or to write a tragedy, or to change himself into a seabird, and if the general did not carry out the order, which one of us would be at fault? It would be you, said the little prince firmly. After listening to the prince, the king asked him if he were to order a minister that he had to fly from one flower to another flower like a butterfly. Means first he had to change himself into a butterfly, and then he had to fly from one flower to another flower. Or if he ordered him to write a tragedy like a writer, or another order to change himself into a seabird. And if that minister would not be able to complete any of his orders, then in that case, whose fault would be? It will be mine or of the minister. Then the prince replied formally that it would be the fault of the king. Exactly, one must demand of each and every one that what they are capable of. Authority is first and foremost based on reason. Authority means the power or giving orders, the power of giving orders. And reason is called, some reason should be behind that. The king said, of course, the fault would of his, and as one must give the order or demand something from the other persons what they are able to do. If one has the power to give orders, then first and foremost thing, first of all those orders should be based on some reason, or we can say reasonable orders should be given. Reasonable orders are called fair orders should be given. If you order your people to throw themselves into the sea, you will have a revolution on your hands. I have the right to demand obedience because my orders are reasonable ones. Revolution means a way to change the government by the people. So king further said, if you order the people of your kingdom to throw themselves into the sea, that will not be the right orders. Okay. And definitely they all will opt a way to change that government, and only the government will be responsible for that. The king said that he had this right to be obeyed by all the people because his orders are sensible and fair, and everyone followed them. See, here in this stanza, the king wanted to present himself as a very good ruler, but in fact, there was no one on which he ruled. What about my sunset? The little prince reminded him, for he never forgot a question once he had asked it. You shall have your sunset. I shall demand it, but in accordance with scientific government, I shall wait until conditions are favorable. In accordance with means according to the rules, someone says something. So when the king lost in his own thoughts, then the prince reminded him that what about the sunset? He asked for, as the prince never forget any of his question that once he asked to anyone. Here the prince was reminding the king to answer his question by showing him the sunset, because he demanded to show him sunset, as this was not the time for sunset, but the prince wanted to see the sunset, knowing that the king who was able to do anything related to galaxy, then why didn't he take the opportunity to watch the sunset through the king? Then the king said that the prince should have his sunset, and the king should demand the sunset to show him. But then he said that according to the rules of the scientific government, the king should wait until the conditions for making the sunsets are in favor of him. So here the king was saying to prince that he could order for the sunset, but only then when all the conditions for sunset would be in his favor. Then and when Will that be? asked the little prince. Hum, hum, replied the king, consulting his big calendar. Hum, hum. It will be around. It will be this evening about 20 minutes to 8, and you shall see how well I am obeyed. Then the prince asked, when would that suitable or favorable time come? Then the king consulted his big calendar, and after thinking a lot, he replied, it would be around today's evening, and the time would be about 20 minutes to 8. And then the prince should see how properly all bodies of the galaxy would obey the king. So here we see that the king was just boasting as he had the power to make the sunset, but in fact he was making the prince fool. As we know that sunrise and sunset and other natural processes are naturally happened. Nobody is having any control or power to let them follow according to their time or according to their choice. They are natural to be done itself. The little prince yawned. He regretted having to miss the sunset, but he was getting a little bored. I have nothing more to do here, he said to the king, so I'll be on my way. Don't leave, said the king, who was so proud of having a subject. I'll make you a minister. A minister of what? Of justice, but there is nobody here to judge. Yawned means opened mouth due to tiredness, and the prince was yawning because he was very tired and he felt sad for getting the sunset to be missed, but he was getting a little bored. So when he found that he would not be able to see the sunset, then he told the king that he had nothing to do there, so he would go from here. Listening to this, the king said not to leave from that planet, as he was feeling very proud to have any person from his kingdom. He then said that he would make the prince a minister of his planet. Then the prince asked, what kind of minister? Then the king replied, the minister of justice. Then the prince again asked, but on his planet there was no one to judge. So the prince decided to go from that planet. But the king persuaded him by saying that he would make him a minister of justice on his planet. But there was no one to judge, as the king lived at his planet alone. We do not know that, said the king. I haven't yet made a complete tour of my kingdom. I'm very old and walking makes me very tired, but there is no room here for a carriage. Carriage means a vehicle in which wheels are attached, and a room here means place. So the king said that he did not know about the other person on his planet. He said that he was very old, and yet he had not completed a entire tour towards his planet. Means he had not gone all around of his planet, so he did not know who else is there on his planet. And if he walked a little, he got very tired. He could use any vehicle to move to any place, but there was no place to keep the vehicle on his planet because it was very small. Okay. Oh, but I have already looked, said the little prince, bending down to give one more glance to the other side of a planet just to be sure. Glance is called look. So the prince said that he had already looked for a place on his planet. Then again he bent down to give another look to find out any other place left on the other side of the planet, to make himself sure that yes, there was no place at all on the planet. Then you shall judge yourself, answered the king. That is the most difficult thing of all. It is far more difficult to judge oneself than to judge others. If you succeed in judging yourself rightly, then indeed you are very wise. The king said that the prince should judge himself, as it is the most difficult thing of all. Means when you have to judge yourself, it will be more difficult than judging others. Here king told him to make the minister of justice, and the little prince asked that there was no one to judge. So now king was saying that if there is no one to judge, then judge yourself. So here the king said if the prince judged himself rightly, then without any doubt he would be a very wise person. As far as I am concerned, said the little prince, I can judge myself anywhere. I do not have to live here. So concerned is called worried about something. So the prince said as far as he was concerned or he was worried, he could judge himself at any place, but he did not had to live there on his planet. Actually, the king anyhow wanted to make the prince to stay at his planet, and for that he promised him that if he would stay with him, he could be minister of judgment of that planet. But when the prince told that there was no one on the planet to be judged, then the king asked him to judge himself. So prince told that he could definitely judge himself at any place, but not at this planet, because he did not want to live on that planet. Hum, hum, said the king. I believe that somewhere on my planet there is an old rat. I can hear him at night. You can judge that old rat. You will condemn him to death from time to time. Thus his life will depend upon your justice. But on each occasion you will spare him so as to keep him alive. He is the only one we have. Contempt means to criticize. An occasion is called a special time, and spare means to leave. Now the king said that he believed that somewhere on his planet there was an old rat lived, as the king could hear him at night, and the prince would criticize the rat to death often, and then rat's life would depend on prince justice. But on some special time, prince had to leave him so that he could remain alive, as the rat was the only other creature now on that planet. That's why I replied. That prince do not like to condemn anything to death, and I think I'll be on my way. No, said the king. Listening to it, the prince replied that he did not like to criticize anything to death, and then he said that he would go from this planet to his way. But the king denied him to go. Here we see that by making different ways, the king wanted to make the prince to stay at his planet. So this time he said that there was a rat on his planet to whom he could criticize to death. Means to whom he can place his judgment. But he did not need to kill that rat, because the rat was the only other creature on his planet besides him. But the prince denied and wanted to move from that planet, but the king said him not to go. The little prince, having completed his preparations, had no wish to hurt the feelings of the old monarch. If your majesty wishes to be promptly obeyed, you should give me a reasonable order. You could, for example, order me to be gone in less than a minute. It seems to me that conditions are favorable. Promptly means quickly, and favorable is called a suitable situation. So the little prince was not at all in the mood to stay there for a longer time. So he was all set to move. But at the same time, he did not want to hurt the king's feeling. So he said, if your majesty, or we can say the king, your majesty is used for the king. So he said the king wished to be obeyed quickly. If the king wanted himself to be wished or to be obeyed quickly, then he should give him a fair order. For example, the king should order him to go from here in a minute. Then the prince would find that order and that situation suitable for him. As the king said nothing, the little prince hesitated a moment and then with a sigh took his leave. I make you my ambassador, the king called after him in haste. He had a magnificent air of authority. Grown-ups are very strange, said the little prince to himself, continuing his journey. Sigh means a long breath. In haste is called quickly, and ambassador is called a representative. So now the king got assured that the prince would not stay. So he said nothing to prince. Looking at the prince, the king himself hesitated for a minute, but then took a long breath and left the place. Seeing the prince going, the king quickly called him again and said that he would make the prince his representative, as the king had a very grand position of his kingship. The little prince, without paying any attention on his journey, was thinking that grown-ups, or we can say the adult persons, are very strange. So we saw that how the little prince wanted to travel different planets and to search a job, suitable job for him, and how the king tried to make him stay at his planet, but both proved fail to fulfill their desire. Even after getting the job of high rank, the prince chose his freedom, and even after trying different manners, the king was not able to have the company of the little prince. So we learn from this story that the best thing for anyone's life is his or her liberty. So with this, we have completed this beautiful chapter. I want to take a leave. I'll see you with the next video.